The night air was thick with unspoken words as Maya sat across from Jordan in their favorite diner in downtown Portland. The neon lights flickered outside, casting a soft glow on their booth. She had been wrestling with her feelings for weeks, and tonight, she could no longer keep them bottled up. "Jordan," she began, her voice barely above a whisper. "I need to talk to you about something important." He looked up from his coffee, surprise etched on his face. "What's going on? You seem serious." Maya took a deep breath, her heart racing. "I've been feeling different lately. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like there's this fire inside me that I can't put out." Jordan frowned, confusion clouding his features. "What do you mean? Are you saying you're not happy with us?" "No, it's not that," she replied quickly, her hands fidgeting with the edge of the tablecloth. "I love you, but I feel like something has changed within me. It's like I'm a tree waiting for spring to bloom, but the wind won't let me." His expression hardened, and Maya felt a pang of hurt. "Are you saying I'm not enough for you? Is that it?" "No," she exclaimed, her voice rising slightly. "I'm not blaming you. I just need you to understand what I'm feeling." The tension in the air was palpable, and they spent the rest of the evening in a heated discussion, their voices rising and falling like the tide. Jordan's pride flared, and he took her words as a personal attack, while Maya felt increasingly frustrated that he couldn't see the depth of her emotions. Days passed, and the weight of their conversation lingered in the back of Maya's mind. The feeling inside her grew stronger, like a drumbeat that echoed in her chest, but she felt as if no one could hear its rhythm. One night, unable to contain herself any longer, she reached out to Jordan again. This time, she chose her words carefully, hoping to convey her feelings without igniting another argument. "Jordan," she said softly, meeting his gaze. "I love you. But I've changed. I want to bloom, to grow, but it feels like the winds are against me." He looked at her intently, and for the first time, she saw a flicker of understanding in his eyes. "What do you mean by that?" he asked, his tone gentler now. "I want to feel alive again," she confessed, her voice trembling. "I don't want to lose what we have, but I need to explore this part of myself." The next day, Jordan was uncharacteristically quiet, lost in thought. Maya could sense the turmoil brewing within him, but she didn't want to push him. That evening, they settled in front of the television, the familiar comfort of a movie playing in the background. As they watched, the silence between them was thick, but Maya felt a shift in the air. She reached for his hand, intertwining her fingers with his. "We'll figure this out together," she said softly, hoping to bridge the gap that had formed between them. Jordan turned to her, his expression softening. "I want to understand, Maya. I really do." The warmth of his hand in hers brought a flicker of hope. Maybe they could navigate this together, even if the path ahead was uncertain. Maya and Jordan settled into their cozy living room, the soft glow of the television illuminating their faces. The film they chose was anything but ordinary. It was a poignant drama that tugged at Maya's heartstrings in ways she hadn't anticipated. As the story unfolded, she felt a stirring within her, a long-dormant spark reigniting like the first drops of rain on parched earth. She found herself swaying slightly, her hands unconsciously moving in rhythm with the emotional cadence of the film. Jordan sat beside her, quiet and contemplative, his gaze fixed on the screen. Yet, she could sense his eyes flickering toward her, a mix of surprise and curiosity reflecting in them. In that moment, Maya was lost in her own world, the warmth of a gentle breeze washing over her as feelings she had kept locked away began to spill forth. It was as if a chest had been opened, revealing secrets she had buried for years. The weight of her thoughts lingered, and despite the film playing in front of them, her mind was elsewhere, grappling with the revelations that had surfaced. After the credits rolled, exhaustion washed over her, and she drifted off to sleep, the film's themes echoing in her dreams. But the next day, as she stirred in the kitchen, preparing a simple meal, her thoughts were still consumed by the emotions that had awakened in her. Stirring the pot with a wooden spoon, she found herself lost in contemplation, the aroma of garlic and herbs filling the air, yet her mind wandered far beyond the confines of her kitchen. Later that week, a plumbing issue arose in their apartment building. Maya was in the middle of her afternoon routine when there was a knock at the door. It was her neighbor, Mark, a friendly guy from down the hall. "Hey, Maya. Just wanted to give you a heads up about the water pressure issue. We might need to discuss the costs involved," he said, stepping inside when she invited him in. They sat at her small kitchen table, the sunlight streaming through the window, casting a warm glow over the room. As they talked about the repairs and shared the burden of the unexpected expense, Maya noticed Mark's gaze drifting toward her more often than usual. It was a subtle thing, but it made her feel at ease, as if they were sharing a moment that transcended the mundane topic of plumbing. "Thanks for letting me know," she said, stirring her coffee absent-mindedly. "I wasn't expecting company today." "Neither was I," Mark replied with a chuckle, his eyes sparkling with a hint of mischief. "But sometimes, it's nice to have a break from routine, right?" Maya smiled, appreciating the lightness he brought into the conversation. They chatted for nearly half an hour, the initial awkwardness fading as they discussed everything from the building's quirks to their favorite local coffee shops. She found herself laughing more than she had in a while, the tension from her earlier thoughts easing just a bit. As they wrapped up their conversation, Mark stood to leave, but not before giving her a lingering look. "If you ever need help with anything, just let me know. I'm just down the hall," he said, his tone sincere. "Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it," Maya replied, feeling a warmth spread through her. As he walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that perhaps this unexpected encounter was just what she needed, a reminder that life was still full of surprises, even in the midst of her own internal struggles. That evening, as she prepared for bed, Maya reflected on the day. The film, the conversation with Mark, and the stirring within her all felt intertwined. She realized that she was on the brink of something new, a journey of self-discovery that she was both excited and terrified to embark upon. Maya felt a shift within her as she sat across from Mark, the lingering tension from earlier conversations slowly dissipating. The weight of his gaze was palpable, and she found herself rising from her chair, compelled to take a step closer to him. It was as if a long-suppressed melody, forgotten for years, suddenly began to play in her heart. "Hey, don't rush off just yet," she said, her voice steady despite the flutter in her chest. "Let me get you something to drink before you go. I owe you for the plumbing advice." Mark smiled, his eyes sparkling with warmth. "I appreciate that, but I have a few more neighbors to check in on," he replied, glancing toward the door. "But I'll take you up on that offer next time." "Sure, they're not going anywhere," she joked, a playful grin spreading across her face. Their eyes locked, and in that moment, an unspoken agreement seemed to pass between them, a shared understanding that this connection was more than just casual neighborly banter. As he took a step back, Maya felt a rush of courage. "You know, it's nice to have someone to talk to," she said softly, her heart racing. "I didn't realize how much I needed that." "Me too," Mark replied, his voice low and sincere. "It's easy to get caught up in our own worlds, isn't it?" Maya nodded, feeling a sense of freedom wash over her. It was as if she had just released a balloon into the sky, letting go of the weight that had been holding her down. The tension that had been coiling inside her began to unravel, and she felt lighter, more alive. "What do you think we should talk about next?" she asked, her curiosity piqued. "I don't know," he said, leaning back slightly, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. Maybe we could share some of our favorite memories from living here? Or the strangest things we've encountered in this building? Sounds good to me, she replied, her heart still racing but now with excitement rather than anxiety. As they continued to chat, the conversation flowed effortlessly. They shared stories about their lives, the quirks of their neighbors, and the oddities of the old building they called home. Maya found herself laughing more than she had in ages, the weight of her worries lifting with each shared moment. But as the conversation deepened, she felt a flicker of vulnerability. You know, she began, her voice softer, sometimes I wonder if I'm the one to blame for everything that's happened in my life. Like, maybe I've just been too afraid to speak up about my feelings. Mark's expression shifted to one of understanding. It's not easy to confront those feelings, he said gently. But I think it's important to acknowledge them. You're not alone in that struggle. Maya appreciated his honesty, feeling a connection that transcended mere friendship. Thanks for saying that, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. It's nice to know someone else gets it. As they spoke, the world around them faded away. The sounds of the bustling city outside seemed distant, replaced by the warmth of their shared laughter and the comfort of their conversation. Eventually, Maya realized that the evening had slipped away from them. The soft glow of the setting sun filtered through the window, casting a golden hue over the room. I should probably let you get going, she said reluctantly, feeling a pang of disappointment. Yeah, I guess I should, Mark replied, standing up slowly. He hesitated for a moment, as if weighing his next words carefully. But I'd really like to do this again. Maybe we could grab coffee sometime? Maya's heart skipped a beat. I'd like that, she said, her smile genuine. Let's make it happen. As he walked toward the door, he turned back to her, his gaze lingering for a moment longer than necessary. Take care, Maya. I'll see you around. See you, Mark, she replied, her heart fluttering as he stepped out into the hallway. After he left, Maya leaned against the kitchen counter, a smile playing on her lips. The day had taken an unexpected turn, and she felt a sense of hope blooming within her. It was a reminder that life could still surprise her, even amidst her struggles. That night, as she prepared for bed, Maya reflected on the day's events. The film, the conversation with Mark, and the stirring of emotions within her all felt intertwined. She realized she was on the brink of something new, a journey of self-discovery that both excited and terrified her. Maya sat on her couch, the soft fabric enveloping her as she reflected on the past few weeks. She had spent so long suppressing her thoughts and feelings, pushing them aside as life rushed by. Now, as she stared out the window at the bustling streets of Chicago, she felt a stirring within her, a need to voice what had been bottled up for too long. I've been quiet for so long, she murmured to herself, her voice barely above a whisper. Maybe it's time to share what I've been holding back. The evening light filtered through the window, casting a warm glow in her small apartment. She picked up her notebook, the pages filled with her thoughts and experiences, and began to write. Each word felt like a release, a step toward self-discovery. As she wrote, she thought about her conversation with Mark. They had connected in a way that felt both exhilarating and terrifying. What would he think of this, she pondered, her heart racing at the thought of sharing her innermost feelings with someone else. Maya paused, her pen hovering over the page. If you were in my shoes, what would you do? She asked the empty room. Would you take the same steps I have, or would you choose a different path? She knew that her journey was just beginning. The emotions she had shared with Mark were a reflection of her own struggles and triumphs. She wanted to know if others felt the same way. Your thoughts matter to me, she wrote, feeling a sense of connection to anyone who might read her words. Sometimes, just a single sentence can lighten the heart, she continued, her pen gliding across the paper. She felt a sense of hope blooming within her, a reminder that she was not alone in her experiences. As she finished her entry, she took a deep breath, feeling lighter than she had in a long time. "I'm ready to embrace the changes life brings," she concluded, closing the notebook with a sense of finality. Maya glanced at the clock, realizing how late it had gotten. She stood up, stretching her arms above her head, and walked to the window. The city lights twinkled like stars, illuminating the night sky. She felt a sense of excitement for what lay ahead, a new chapter waiting to be written. The next day, she decided to share her thoughts online, hoping to connect with others who might resonate with her journey. As she hit post, a wave of nervousness washed over her. What if no one cared? But deep down, she knew that sharing her story was a step toward healing. Days turned into weeks, and Maya found herself engaging with a community of people who shared their own stories of struggle and resilience. Each comment felt like a thread weaving them together, creating a tapestry of understanding and support. Then one evening, as she sat in her favorite coffee shop, she spotted Mark across the room. He was engrossed in a book, a soft smile playing on his lips. Gathering her courage, she approached him, her heart racing. "Hey, mind if I join you?" she asked, her voice steady despite her nerves. "Not at all," he replied, looking up with a warm smile that made her heart flutter. "I was just thinking about you." They fell into easy conversation, discussing everything from literature to their favorite movies. Maya felt a sense of comfort in his presence, as if they were two old friends reconnecting after years apart. As the evening wore on, the coffee shop began to empty, leaving them in a cozy bubble of warmth and laughter. "You know," Mark said, leaning in slightly, "I really admire your courage to share your story. It takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable." Maya felt a blush creep up her cheeks. "Thank you, that means a lot coming from you," she replied, her eyes meeting his. "Maybe we could collaborate on something," he suggested, his gaze lingering on her. "I'd love to hear more about your experiences." "I'd like that," she said, her heart racing at the thought of working together. As they exchanged ideas, the atmosphere shifted, a subtle tension building between them. Maya could feel the chemistry crackling in the air, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. "Let's make it happen," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Mark nodded, his expression serious yet hopeful. "I'd really like that, Maya." They shared a lingering gaze, the world around them fading away. In that moment, everything felt possible. As they parted ways that evening, Maya felt a sense of anticipation building within her. She was ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that she was no longer alone in her journey. In the weeks that followed, Maya and Mark collaborated on a project that allowed them to share their stories with a wider audience. Their connection deepened as they spent more time together, each conversation revealing new layers of their personalities. One evening, after a long day of brainstorming, they found themselves sitting on a park bench, the stars twinkling above them. Mark turned to her, his expression earnest. "I really appreciate you opening up to me. It's refreshing to meet someone who's not afraid to be real." Maya smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her. "I've learned that being vulnerable can lead to amazing connections," she replied. He shifted closer, their shoulders brushing against each other. "I'd like to explore this connection further," he said softly, his gaze searching hers. Maya's heart raced at his words. "I'd like that too," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. As they sat in comfortable silence, the air thick with unspoken words, Maya felt a sense of peace wash over her. She had come so far from the girl who had hidden her feelings away, and now she was ready to embrace whatever came next. In that moment, she realized that life was about taking risks, about sharing your truth and allowing others to see you for who you truly are. And with Mark by her side, she felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the night deepened, they shared a quiet moment, their hearts beating in sync. And as they leaned in, the world around them faded away, leaving just the two of them in their own little universe. As the night deepened, they shared a quiet moment, their hearts beating in sync. The distant sounds of laughter and music from a nearby cafe filled the air, creating a backdrop to their intimate conversation. Mark glanced at her, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "What's your biggest dream, Maya?" he asked, genuinely curious. She took a moment, contemplating the question. "I want to create something that resonates with people, something that makes them feel understood," she replied, her voice steady. "What about you?" Mark leaned back slightly, a thoughtful expression crossing his face. "I want to travel the world, capture stories through my photography. I believe every picture tells a story, and I want to be the one to share those tales." "That sounds incredible," Maya said, her admiration evident. "You have such a passion for it." He smiled, a hint of vulnerability in his eyes. "It's what drives me. Just like your writing drives you." Maya felt a flutter in her chest. The way he spoke about his dreams ignited something within her, a shared ambition that felt electric. "Maybe we can inspire each other," she suggested, her voice laced with excitement. "Absolutely," he replied, his tone warm. "I'd love to collaborate on something bigger, something that combines our talents." The idea hung in the air, vibrant and full of potential. They exchanged ideas, their voices mingling with the sounds of the park, creating a symphony of hope and creativity. As the conversation flowed, Maya felt the barriers she had built around her heart begin to crumble. With each shared laugh and lingering glance, the connection between them deepened. The world around them faded, leaving just the two of them in their own little universe. Subscribe to the channel, many more exciting stories are coming. The atmosphere shifted, a subtle tension building between them like the calm before a storm. Maya could feel the chemistry crackling in the air, a tangible energy that made her heart race. For a fleeting moment, time seemed to stand still, as if the universe had paused to witness their connection. "Let's make it happen," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Mark nodded, his expression serious yet hopeful, his brow slightly furrowed as if weighing the significance of her words. "I'd really like that, Maya," he replied, his voice steady, yet laced with an undercurrent of vulnerability. They shared a lingering gaze, the world around them fading into a blur of colors and sounds. In that moment, everything felt possible, as if they were standing on the precipice of something extraordinary. As they parted ways that evening, the cool breeze rustled the leaves of the trees lining the street, and Maya felt a sense of anticipation building within her. She was ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that she was no longer alone in her journey. The city lights twinkled like stars, mirroring the excitement in her heart. In the weeks that followed, Maya and Mark collaborated on a project that allowed them to share their stories with a wider audience. Their connection deepened as they spent more time together, each conversation revealing new layers of their personalities, like peeling back the skin of an onion to discover its core. One evening, after a long day of brainstorming, they found themselves sitting on a park bench, the stars twinkling above them like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky. The distant sounds of laughter and music from a nearby cafe filled the air, creating a warm backdrop to their intimate conversation. Mark turned to her, his expression earnest, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "I really appreciate you opening up to me. It's refreshing to meet someone who's not afraid to be real," he said, his voice sincere. Maya smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her, a gentle glow that wrapped around her like a soft blanket. I've learned that being vulnerable can lead to amazing connections, she replied, her voice steady, yet tinged with a hint of shyness. He shifted closer, their shoulders brushing against each other, sending a thrill through her. I'd like to explore this connection further, he said softly, his gaze searching hers, as if trying to read her thoughts. Maya's heart raced at his words, a flutter of hope igniting within her. I'd like that too, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper, the weight of the moment pressing down on them. As they sat in comfortable silence, the air thick with unspoken words, Maya felt a sense of peace wash over her. She had come so far from the girl who had hidden her feelings away, and now she was ready to embrace whatever came next. In that moment, she realized that life was about taking risks, about sharing your truth and allowing others to see you for who you truly are. And with Mark by her side, she felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the night deepened, they shared a quiet moment, their hearts beating in sync, a rhythm that seemed to echo through the stillness of the park. Mark glanced at her, his expression softening. "What's your biggest dream, Maya?" he asked, genuinely curious, his voice breaking the silence like a gentle breeze. She took a moment, contemplating the question, the weight of her aspirations settling in her chest. "I want to create something that resonates with people, something that makes them feel understood," she replied, her voice steady, filled with conviction. "What about you?" Mark leaned back slightly, a thoughtful expression crossing his face as he gazed up at the stars. "I want to travel the world, capture stories through my photography. I believe every picture tells a story, and I want to be the one to share those tales," he said, his passion evident in the way his eyes sparkled. "That sounds incredible," Maya said, her admiration evident. "You have such a passion for it," she added, her heart swelling with pride for him. He smiled, a hint of vulnerability in his eyes. "It's what drives me." "Just like your writing drives you," he said, his tone warm and inviting. Maya felt a flutter in her chest, the way he spoke about his dreams igniting something within her, a shared ambition that felt electric. "Maybe we can inspire each other," she suggested, her voice laced with excitement, the possibilities swirling around them like fireflies in the night. "Absolutely," he replied, his tone warm. "I'd love to collaborate on something bigger, something that combines our talents," he added, the idea hanging in the air, vibrant and full of potential. They exchanged ideas, their voices mingling with the sounds of the park, creating a symphony of hope and creativity. As the conversation flowed, Maya felt the barriers she had built around her heart begin to crumble, each laugh and lingering glance drawing them closer together. With each shared moment, the connection between them deepened, the world around them fading, leaving just the two of them in their own little universe, a sanctuary of dreams and aspirations. Subscribe to the channel,